What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, giving you that raw content that you deservedly need. And we're for an Impact Show today. Joining me is the brother, H-Town brother, Hoops Jargon. Say what's up to the fan, bro.
Yes, sir, man. What's up, man? Ready to hop on into it, man.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about this NBL situation. So after the news was out that Lamelo Ball and Jermaine Jackson has finalized the purchase of buying the Illawarra Hawks of the NBL. 5 hours later, the NBL organization sent out a memo saying that the NBL has taken back the license for the Illawarra Hawks after the club was placed on voluntary admission. That's a good thing to know. The Hungry Jacks NBL owner, executive chairman Larry Ketzman said, "We thank Simon and Wendy Stratford for everything they have done during the time the club advanced interests of the Hawks and the Illawarra regime. We wish them the very best through this unprecedented time and challenges." Talking about the coronavirus going around. We will spend the coming weeks establishing a plan and process to find the next owners of the club. Illawarra is one of the NBL's foundation clubs, and we are committed on ensuring long-term viability and success for the league. We are in discussions with the Australian Basketball Association, and then they'll talk about they'll address certain things about that. And then I look at another article by Matt Logue saying the NBL not convinced by Lamelo Ball's contribution from the bid, and that the league will start talks with the ball camp next week. I know what this is about, hoops jargon, and the word on the street, and these are people overseas and Australia and everything, is that when they found out Jermaine Jackson and LaMelo Ball's plans of what they wanted to do with the Illawarra Hawks, they put a kibosh on it. They put a halt on that transaction. And the reason why they do that, as we all know, Australia, just like any other league, are pretty much have a nationalist mindset of the players they want on their league. They want their own, and they only take two American imports each year. So, what's your opinion on it?
Man, it's just, like you say, man, the kibosh is on, man. And, I mean, you nailed it again with the nationalism thing. Having been somebody who played overseas 2 years, you see most countries, man, I'd say about 95% of them, they adopt that rule where only two foreign players or Americans can join the team because they call it that they want to boost up their own talent, which, I mean, I understand that. But there's countries like, I believe China does it differently, as well as Germany and Russia. So it's not outside the realm of possibility of you having more Americans in your league to just give a flat out better product. So part of me is like, okay, this is just business as usual. But however, it seemed to be, some player hating going on because once they, I guess Jermaine divulged the plans of how the Ball family wanted to control the team, then all of a sudden they putting these halts in these these buffers up for them to complete the transaction. So it's you can look at it so many different ways, man. Like it could just be standard protocol, like okay, well hold on, let's make sure we're on the same page about how this goes. Or again, it can just be flat out player Haitian, man. And so it's kind of hard to know just right here on inception, but I mean, it's hella interesting, man. You know, I kind of want to hear a little more what you guys say about it because I know how many ways it could go, and maybe
Yeah,
you have some insight that I ain't even thinking about.
yeah. I have to say this. I just feel bad for the Illawarra fans. Now, I don't think I don't. I'm not saying that it's that talks are not over. When I read the article, as you just heard, that they will talk to the Ball family's camp next week. And that's because I think they're going to talk to them about these imports. They're going to have them in a meeting and they're going to say, hey, we read your article about having more American execs, likely black folks, and American players. We're not cutting that. We're not allowing that at all. That's what they're going to tell the Ball family. I guarantee it. That's what's going to happen. Um, it's really sad for the Illawarra fans that they will not have a winner. They was having a losing team for a long time. Their players missing dunks, alley oops, you name it. You have a chance with Lamelo Ball being an owner, joined with Jermaine Jackson, hiring former NBA players. That's what Jermaine Jackson wanted to do, and people who know about basketball in the offices of Illawarra. And then you had more young players from high school who are ranked to players were in college that were in Division 1 that are really good. And instead of doing that, the NBL league is delaying it, trying to find other owners like them, Australian. So I just think it's really pathetic, man.
Yeah, I mean, this ain't nothing that we don't know the world to be, man. The Australia nation is a nation not too different of how things run over here. You know what I mean? If you can kind of read between the lines of what I'm saying. I mean, look no further than how the Aboriginal folks are treated out there in Australia. So you definitely got to consider stuff like that being part of it. And what I think that the big thing that a lot of people who may support the family or whatever have to understand is that, man, nothing worth having comes easy, man. It's always going to be some type of safeguard in place. It's going to be some type of, gatekeeper to try to prevent you from having overall success. So I see that as a challenge. I mean, and then we're going to talk. So that shows that there is going to be a opportunity for you to, come to an agreement, come to a certain standpoint. Hopefully they'll be able to negotiate getting a lot of our American minds and legs and bodies down there to actually make a better product. I mean, let's be honest. You're going to have a better product the more Americans you have over there, period. I don't care what you say. Australia's a good league, man. The NBL is not a bad league, though. So I don't want to set that, like that's my position. But when you put the best of the best, which the talent we have over here in basketball, it's automatically going to give you a better product. So, I'm just kind of like one of those things where you got to look at it introspectively and kind of see that the big picture is, you get over there, you're going to have people player hating, but you just got to persevere, man. And if anything I know about LeVar and how he run his ship and when he's instilled in his boys, I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. But we'll see what type of mountain or molehill this little, side problem may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That's what it is. A side problem. It's just a lump on the road
Yeah.
that the ball camp got to navigate.
Yeah.
But they're used to it. Always somebody trying to stop someone's shine. Um, they'll fight this through. I
Absolutely.
think they will. And I'm just really disappointed. The NBL, they're trying to be like EuroLeague and top leagues,
Yeah.
and they got to realize they're not. So to help rectify that, how about, at least, I'm being fair, at least 5 American players, seven, five, six. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open that up a little bit more. You keep your best five, that's Australian born, and you bring American players. Now, there shouldn't be any politics in making the Australian players play. If they're that good, then they're that good. But that's the problem with Australia. They think they're Spain or France, or you know what I mean. They're not
Yeah.
those leagues. And
Agreed.
the reason why Lamelo wanted Australia, he loves their fans. It's been documented, and he loves the fact that the weather's good, the spot is good, and they took a chance because, as you know, the organization at the Illawarra Hawks was losing money after Lamelo left, and the coronavirus pandemic didn't help. So the NBL needs to do the right thing and allow the Ball family, well, just Lamelo and Jermaine, allow Lamelo and Jermaine to purchase a team and help boost it. It's a win-win situation. But the problem is the NBL don't think about the money. It's all about the money. when you want a good league, you want to generate money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to um, you don't want to handicap your league. So we'll see what happens with them.
Agreed. And like also, man, hopefully, the Australian league can kind of have some foresight, man. Like all the great entities in this world, man, they have foresight. They see past convention and they see the opportunity to transcend convention and they get above the wave. And so, as we just stated, many times over, status quo is to Americans, but you're in a position where you have a captivating family that's going to transcend your league. Let's be honest about it now. The problem is when real change comes, the good old boys stand, they stand at the front gate like, hold on, buddy. You ain't about to change what we had going for so
Yeah,
long. You know what I mean? So you name the area and space of life. There's always those gatekeepers trying to just uphold tradition, no matter if that tradition is fruitful or not. So hopefully, and I don't know the governing body of that league from a ham sandwich, but hopefully that they can kind of see the potential that this is a very irregular situation and there are no more ball kids coming. So you got to kind of ride this wave the best way forward, and the best way to run it is, people are right now, they have this semblance of Lamelo being this great, savior for the team, a great figure for the team, however you want to lay that out. And you can use his presence to build that league up, kind of like how the Chinese league took to Stephon Marbury. I believe he's coaching over there now.
facts.
You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah,
lot you can do because the fans just loved him so much that he stayed, and they found a way to still ingratiate him further in their league. Same you can do here. There's so much potential here because it's an unprecedented situation. So hopefully there's somebody amongst that morass that has like some foresight and can see the opportunity because it's a great one, man. Like it's no debate. Like no foreign import for that with the Rising Star program, I believe it's called. Won Rookie of the Year. Like the best player, the second best player to go through that program was Brandon Jennings. He put up like 5 and 3. He put up like minuscule numbers. So Lamelo coming in averaging like 17 and 8 and 9, I believe, something he put up. That's
yeah,
unprecedented. So you got to ride that wave of unprecedented to set a new precedent and elevate that league.
yeah. You hit it on the nail with that. Stephon Marbury changed the landscape of the CBA
Yep.
and had a lot of American imports play there, former players, draw interest, and their games are always packed. No matter if it's a losing team or a good team, it's always
Facts.
packed. And it's when you saw like I scrolled through Twitter when this news came out about Melo and Jermaine Jackson buying a franchise. I was looking what the Aussies were saying.
Mm-hmm.
The fans, the fans were excited
Oh, that's dope.
because they thought they were gonna get American players, more American front office people, and it'd be a new look. When you're losing, when you're a losing team, it don't matter where I'm from. Let's say I'm a losing team in America, right? I own a
Mm-hmm.
team in America, NBA team, and I have American players, right? And we're losing. Let's say we hire nothing but international players in an international front office, and we turn our team into like a EuroLeague super team in the NBA. None of the American fans are going to complain. You're winning. It's all about winning and losing.
Yeah.
Example: the
But
Spurs. The
yeah.
Spurs had the most international players when they were winning championships in
Yep.
Texas, in San Antonio, Texas, in the South.
Yeah.
You think those Southern white folks cared about, a lot of international players? No.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm with you. I'll give you a little pushback because me having lived in Dallas the past 2 years of my life,
Yeah.
there's been some people not liking the way that Cubans going with the slate of the Mavericks. So some people are like giving a
But
little
that's the
pushback
Mavericks.
on it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because people are like, man, he trying to turn us into a Euro League team or something. And now that they're winning, of course, to your point, everybody's shutting the fuck up now that they winning and it looks like a product that's gonna keep winning. So of course
Yeah.
they're gonna change their tune. But they did get pushed back on Inception, man. So I can see what they mean, but I also understand the fickle nature of fans. And like you said, man, all they want to see is a winning product at the end of the day. They can talk all that shit they want to about what they want them players to look like. They start winning, all them words go get ate.
It's all
What you
gone.
got? All them
It's
words
all
go get ate,
gone.
dog.
Yeah, man. It's this is the sad thing about when a brother tries to do something different, tries to own land. It's always been like that for us for hundreds of years. So I'm not surprised. We're not trying to say black against white. So those who are listening, we're not trying to say, we're just keeping it real.
Yeah.
And so since we're keeping it real, every time a family or a black man who has a ruling class mentality buys property, buys land, buys an organization, there's always a but. There's always a, well, we want the transaction, but I don't know, we got to have this and that and stipulations. Brother, can you tell us why that happens a lot in our society and why it plays a part in what Lamelo and Jermaine Jackson was going through?
Well, I would first state that, man, that was a good point about how those with a ruling class mentality always want to have ownership over something. Like, so the problem with that is, I mean, it's not a problem at all to have that mentality. Every
No.
man, especially brother, should have that mentality to preside over your own, to want to pass something down, have some of your own name. The inverse of that is that infringes on somebody else's probably already withstanding ruling class mentality. So then you have that battle of wits going on. And if you know, most people with a ruling class mentality, you have foresight to know when your kingdom is being infringed upon, especially if you can see a few levels ahead, which most, again, people who share that trait, they have that ability. So they see what's coming around the corner. And what's coming around the corner is when they come, they bringing their people. So it's almost like one of them old war strategies when you kind of leery about who you ingratiate because you know that the potential of that faction or that entity, and that's what happened. So where I think if LeVar wasn't who he was and he was a lot more of a whimsical type of cat who just was like more about me, I just want to be the face. Y'all can tell me and do whatever. I just want to have my name on something. They'd be open arms to it because basically you just a pawn, man. Like you just another guy that they can run anything through and you cool with the program,
Yeah.
whatever. But learning the kind of guy he is, the guy that'll go toe to toe with what's my man's name who just got COVID-19, Cuomo from CNN.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
guy
that guy.
that a guy that'll go with Donald Trump. He's not a good who to be told what to do, and I'm sure they've surmised that by now. So when they come in and his camp speaks about what they're gonna implement, they're like, oh, hold on. You know, this is the guy who ain't gonna take no for an answer. So what you just seeing is common pushback because they see him as a threat, man, in which they should. Because he the last dude you want to tell him what he can't do if contractually he's bound to do it. So I think that's why they delaying the actual finalization of it because I know once it's final, you know, you got what you signed up for. You know what I mean? So that's why
Hmm.
we see the backpedaling going on, man. And that's just what society does as a whole when they see a threat, man.
And I want to point this out. I knew for a fact that it was a gentleman's agreement. I'm sure it was a gentleman's agreement. You really can't really do anything now because of the COVID-19. The quarantine process is even more strenuous than it was weeks ago. You
Yes,
can't go overseas. You can have your own private jet and still can't even go overseas now. So you know, I believe it was a gentleman's agreement. But even that, your word is your word. And plus, they had the most. Come on, the ball. Lamelo Ball's about to get a big shoe contract. He probably got that now, for all we know.
mm-hmm.
And he's getting bread on the documentary that he's about to post. The $2 million documentary that they're shopping around. So Lamelo's getting bread,
Absolutely.
and for him to want to have contribution and expanding the brand of Illawarra Hawks and bringing national attention to NBL, they should be thanking this brother. Jealousy is the cancer of envy. it's the negative part of envy. See, envy is like where you aspire to be, what you hope to have. Jealousy is you want what they have, but you know you can't have what they have, so you want to ruin what they got.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing right now. So a lot of people just got to know how to read too, because there was. I'm not trying to say his name. I'll say his name. I don't give a damn. Ticket TV made a video today saying, well, the NBL recanted their offer and want to move on. Like I could tell he didn't read
Yeah.
because he didn't even point out that the NBL will have a meeting, I'm sure on phone call or something, with the Ball family team. That's what the article says. See, a lot of these shines don't read at all. So that's why they go on YouTube and make baseless propaganda. But he makes his bread off of negative Ball family content. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
For sure. Man, here's the thing, man. I'm gonna sound pretty crass with this, and I really don't care. What you gonna see is a lot of these YouTube personalities, man. A lot of these niggas are slow, man. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is, dog.
Yeah.
I was an educator for 4 years, man. So I see the fundamental parts of like people who have like personality, people who are popular. Like you have a gift of gab. But when you look at their great work, it's a lot of slow motherfuckers who are popular. That is just the the potato and brass of it, of the situation. So I don't know that brother from the Ham Sandwich, but again, I told you my opinions about him last time, so I won't harp too much on that. But
Yeah.
clearly, you don't read. I mean, we saw that with people talking about the shoes that were prototypes that never saw the light of day. Was saying, oh well, the shoes were just never good quality. And Lonzo said it himself. He's like, no, he said about shoes he wore for 2 games in the preseason that never, ever touched his feet during any season game he played, nor was sold to anybody. So it's always going to be slow people who are going to propagate misinformation and disinformation. It's always going to happen. And there's just another example of it. And it's unfortunate that so many dumb motherfuckers have a platform where they can spread dumb information, and dumb people are looking for little tidbits of just to kind of feed what their opinion is already, and they run with it. But that's just the nature of the beast, man. That's the nature of what the media game is about, whether it's YouTube, whether it's mainstream or what have you. And it's just unfortunate because, like you said, if you just would simply read the damn article, you would know to hold that strong opinion until that meeting happens, and it's finite. But no, everybody want to jump to information first. Everybody want all the clicks. Everybody want all the likes, but everybody's not interested in putting out accurate information. And I'm just not one of them cats, man. And to be honest, I just don't respect it, man. So I don't care who like it and who don't. You know what I mean? But that, to me, you know what I'm saying, to use a street term, that's just some fuck shit, man. So, but some people navigating that space of fuck shit, that's their comfort zone. And it is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Niggas can't read. You're right about that.
They can't read, bro.
They can't read, man. When I looked at that video, I said, "Oh man, this shine ticket, man. This dude did not read the full thing at all. All he was saying that, uh, like pretty much with the ball, they were saying he was saying that the NBL was stating that the Ball family, not the Ball family, but Lamelo and Jermaine Jackson were not telling the truth about what's going on and all that stuff. That's not what it said. It really said that, um, pretty much the NBL stepped in and pretty much holding the Illawarra Hawks for bidding because they did not want the owners that were there to just give LaMelo and Jermaine Jackson free reign.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. See, he would know that if he would have read.
Well, I mean, again, not to slander, but from what I've seen over the time of observing his content, man, he ain't the most swift of foot brother that existed. So I mean, you gotta just kind of understand personalities, man. Understand, you know what I mean? Just it is what it is, man. And again, I don't really care if I mean, I'm nobody, but one day I might be somebody doing this, and I'm
Oh yeah,
sure.
you will, bro.
Man, I appreciate that. And I just, my opinion is my opinion, man. If you show you're not swift of foot, that's my honest take. You're not swift of foot. So you're going to have, again, hot takes that are baseless. but just propagate that narrative that you want to do. You know, this reminds me of, brother.
What it reminds you?
You remember when the NBA stepped in and took over the
Clippers.
Before the Clippers, though, they took over the Hornets. And when they tried to do the
Oh,
Chris Paul trade, the NBA stepped in and was like, "Oh, hold on." Even though it was deemed to be a fair trade, but you got dudes like Dan Gilbert bitching about the Lakers always getting the star players, and so then they had to rebalance because basically they stepped in and started owning the Hornets, the New Orleans Hornets at the time. That's what this kind of sounds like right here. Now, hopefully they don't step in and rescind it to that same level, but same deal, man. Like, hey, the owners, they sold it, they stepped away from it, and now the league is trying to step in and govern their decision over and I'm sure other teams are probably bitching about it, kind of how Dan Gilbert was doing. And so maybe some of that was going on of why they decided to kind of step in and make, a pretty much unprecedented move of kind of like, putting that block on the sale of on a reasonable sale of a team.
man, you on a roll, brother. See, this is why I got Hoops Jargon up in the building, man. This brother played college basketball, so he's an athlete. He played overseas, so he knows how this goes out. And that's a perfect analogy, brother, because this
Appreciate
is
it.
just like the Hornets situation. Now to think about it, just like the Hornets situation. And I know that's what happened. The previous owner had a gentleman's agreement with
Mm-hmm.
Lamelo Ball and Jermaine Jackson. And the NBL got word and put a kibosh and said, we're controlling everything for Illawarra. They're a historical team. When they put that historical quote unquote title in there,
Mm-hmm.
they're telling the Ball family and us, the whole world, that this is an Aussie team.
Yeah.
And we're not blacking it up for anybody. Now I'm not saying they're racist, but they believe in national pride. This is Aussies.
This is true.
They believe in their own. And
Ask that.
then,
Yep. Ask the Aboriginal people there how the Aussies get down.
oh yeah, yeah, they get down all right.
You ain't got to take our words for it. Ask the Aboriginals how they've been treated over the course of hundreds of years. So, yeah, I mean, and brother, like, you got to understand, man, when people get scared of your power, man, they're gonna start putting on walls up and try to safeguard and try to limit your success and limit your dominion or what have you. And so this is just, par for the course, man. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Because, I mean, a gentleman's agreement is admissible in court. Well, I know it is here. I'm not sure about how the Aussie legal system goes. But I know, like, when you write an agreement on a piece of napkin is admissible in court pretty much anywhere.
But brother, you
So,
can see why they had a gentleman's agreement because, like I just stated, and I know you understand this, what's going on. You can't really move around the same like before the virus was out.
yeah. Yeah. So you can't be face to face to finalize a deal, obviously. Yeah.
And I know people be like, "Oh, you could just fax it." No, that's why certain like this is ownership. So in ownership, you can't just do a fax. This ain't the NBA where you're a player or the NFL. You're in free agency. You could just do a Xerox and call it a day. This is about ownership. You can't just that's not how it works. You have to go to a place and see all of the info
Yeah.
before you finalize anything. So they were smart on doing the gentleman's agreement. It's just that the NBL stepped in because they ain't want to Americanize their teams. That is a fact. And if anyone disagrees, and that's wait till the facts come out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Bingo.
Because I'm not saying anything that's lack of common sense. I'm not saying anything. This is how it goes. And I just read that it's not over. It's pretty much not over. They're gonna
Yeah.
talk with the Ball family next week. Something that these other YouTubers did not point out to them when they
Yep.
made their lame videos.
What do you expect though, man? Because just how we saying the kibosh is on from that ownership in the league, Kibosh is on with the YouTube contingent that again have dug their nails into the ground, their spikes into the ground, and decided that they're not rocking with nothing the Ball family got going. And I'm sure that if they were steaming when they heard the news, the first piece of news yesterday, and trying to figure out how they can spin it to be a bad thing. And when they heard the little caveat today, I'm sure that just made their day. So here they go doing that
Oh yeah,
little
brother.
ritual.
They couldn't wait to make that video.
Of course.
They said, "Man, we've been hearing too much good stuff about Lamelo. Let's wait till something bad happens." So they
And that's
rushed the
how.
video without reading.
Yep. And that's how losers move, man. Like you all about tearing something down. You're all about, trying to bring somebody down to your low level. And that's all. That's all your spoke. I mean, I'm sorry, your scope and your perspective lends itself to. And the funny part is, that people don't see that in themselves as they're doing it. They just really think, this perceived bad news is just gonna make their day, and make them seem smarter, and make them, make them feel validated in their hate. And it's just, all this stuff always, what they say, what doesn't come out in the rinse, come out in the wash. When the stuff get finalized, you're going to see them backpedal because they didn't read, and they'll go back, oh, well, I didn't, actually, I forgot to see that part right there, so that makes sense. And, because they slow. The niggas is slow, man, so you just got to expect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I'm not surprised by anything anymore. It
should be.
Like the saying goes, it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. The world gonna keep going that way before and after you, man. So it's just best to understand people's character, their personality, understand their motivation, and just take it for what it is and keep on doing what you're doing, man. Keep on progressing on your own. You want to support what you want to support. Just keep doing it, man. Just don't let no clowns take you away from, what's right and what's righteous and what's good. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
man.
You gotta let them do their thing, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, LaMelo Ball is going to still be winning. He's going to have more money off the court than any rookie in this draft class. It won't even be close.
Period.
Not
And this
even
coming off
close.
the Zion Williamson wave. He still will surpass that. Who another cat I really like. I like Zion Williamson a lot. And that just shows you the profile he's at. That it's a self-made, and that's the funny part. It's a self-made profile. Like, you can't say no college program made him to what he is. You can't say the Illawarra Hawks made him to who he is. You can't say the Vitadis, what's it, Prime Nine, name of the team in Lithuania. You can't say they made him. You can't say no. You can't say Chino Hills made him. And that's what's the beautiful part of it is. And I hope a lot of brothers can compete game in that. You can do the same thing, man. You can control your own destiny if you got the wherewithal and you got the foresight to do so.
Yeah, without God, nothing's possible.
Absolutely.
You gotta have God by your side, man.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, sorry about that. These kids, man, these ball kids, they seem like they believe in God to the Most High. They always thank him in interviews and etc. So they're made of the right stuff. People who are uh, a blessing from God, who come in this world and try to impact in something they do. There's always something trying to hold someone back. There's always a hater lurking in the shadows, trying to hope they fall and stumble. And you know what the Ball family keep doing? They keep rolling.
They keep rolling.
Yeah, they do.
Excellent point. They keep rolling every time, and that should be an insight for yourself, man. If you feel like every time you coming up, somebody trying to step in your way, just keep persevering, man. Don't let people, because if you notice, they keep rolling, but as they're trying to keep rolling, the pundits, the naysayers, they're always trying to tell them about how bad their stead is now because of a decision they made, or like how unworthy they are of that next place. And one thing I admire about LeVar is at every turn, he basically telling people they don't know what they're talking about. Like, so he always can flip it like, hey, man, that may be true for you, but I ain't built like you. It's something he always says. And that's just so true, man. Don't be soft, man. Don't let people project their insecurity. Don't project their weak ass baby shit mentality on you, man. Period.
Exactly. You heard it first from Hoops Jargon. This is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth. I want to thank you guys for listening to the show. We're all about the real over here. None of that fake stuff. So peace and blessings to all of you guys.